Yes, thanks for staying with us. 101 with Mark Bichachi, part 2 of infrastructure, and I'm going to dive straight into it. Roads, yes. Now, roads is a touchy subject and a thorny subject for many Kenyans because it is the infrastructure that many of us use pretty quickly. Whether you ride a bicycle, you walk, or you even drive a car, the roads and the road network become critical. Now, if you've ever taken a journey in the past into your village, you realize that your car needed to have spacers and special shock absorbers. That is a situation that we hope to change. But nowhere else was this a bigger problem than the north of the country. Now we know the Jubilee administration has built 7,000 kilometers worth of roads. Kibaki did about 3,000 kilometers of roads. Now the question is, these 7,000 kilometers of roads, what are the key highlights? I don't have time to go through all of them, but road number 1, which is a lifesaver, is the road between Kitale and Turkana, joining Turkana to the rest of Kenya. That's a big road. You've got the road from Garissa all the way to Mandera, yes, the tip of Kenya, where it joins the border of Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya. That road is under construction as well. Let us not forget that we have got the Lapsot Corridor roads, which is a magnificent plan and road that will connect Kenya to Ethiopia and join the other roads that are supposed to join all of Africa from South Africa all the way to Egypt. These are the key roads that we must remember. But let's take this back to the city and talk about roads that are important. Gong Road is being constructed and expanded. You've got Waiyaki Way, it's being fixed as well. You've got the expressway between Syokimau and all the way to James Gishuru, which is under construction and scheduled, by the way, to be delivered under budget and on time if it goes the way it is going. So that is one key project that you need to watch out for. Let us not forget that the Red Hill Road is done. There are many connecting roads that have happened across the country. You've got the Dagoretti Road, which was finished recently next to Waiyaki Way, coming out near Limuru. All of these roads, what do they mean? What they mean is not just the ease of transport or the easing of congestion. That's not just it. It is also about the ability to connect different parts of the country into the economic activities of the country. For example, Mandera. If the road between Nairobi and Mandera, it is possible to do that journey within a day. What does that mean? That a lorry full of goats, which is one of the main production products that come out of Mandera, will be able to arrive in Nairobi in a day, meaning that the people in Mandera can begin to see increased commerce. But number 2, the fact that the road is smooth and fast will also mean that the cases of banditry on that particular road will be less, meaning there's less loss of life, less loss of livelihood, and more prosperity, more peace to that side of the country. So we're doing something right when it comes to our roads. That goes without saying. We cannot discuss infrastructure without discussing one important factor of the 21st century. That is the internet and technology. Now, Kenya has one of the largest internet penetration rates by population, 20 million Kenyans. Yes, you heard that right. 20 million Kenyans have access to the internet, which is one of the highest rates in Africa. On top of that, we've got the Konza City, which is a technopolis which we are building to create a technology and innovation center, the first of its kind in our region, to ensure that those who want to innovate and invest in the technology, the STEM, what they call STEM technologies, have a place to go. What we are trying to do is we're trying to create the Silicon Valley of Africa. We call it the African Savannah Valley. Now, why is this important? It is important to understand that the infrastructure that we've put together not only allows you to watch this video, but it also allows us to access information and also to disseminate information and gives our people an opportunity to innovate, to do business wherever they are. In fact, part of the reasons I wager that Kenya was able to shoulder the ravages of COVID-19 is because many of our working class were able to work remotely thanks to the internet infrastructure that is there in this country. Right from the sea cables in Mombasa all the way to the various infrastructures put in by private institutions, we call them ISPs, all that is infrastructure that allows you to access the internet as you are today. And trust you me, Kenya is a market leader. It's an African leader in internet penetration, and that internet penetration giving you a quality cost, a very affordable cost of internet. Now, let's talk about the railway. Yes, the elephant in the room, or according to some Twitter economists, their favorite punching bag. Now, of course, we've got two railway lines in this country. We've got the SGR, which stands for Standard Gauge Railway, and then we've got the MGR, which is the Meter Gauge Railway, which is the railway system that existed there before. Now, the MGR, of course, built from the 1900s till today, is considered slower, can carry a bit less weight than the SGR. SGR can carry more weight and at higher speeds. Nonetheless, they both work. Now, the question really, of course, we know the debacle that we got into with the Land Commission and the various interjections we have to do, and the SGR was more expensive than we had hoped it would be. But the question, the key question, is what bedevils the railway network in this country? Number one, Kenya is a net importer of goods. We import twice as many goods as we export. What does that mean? Basically, the trains and our lorries deliver more goods into the country from the port of Mombasa than deliver back going to the port of Mombasa. This is something that we need to change. The MGR indeed it's being refurbished, and we know that there is a train today you can take to Nanyuki, for example, something that has not happened in a very, very long time. Also, good news for those of you who live in Kisumu, the MGR line in the next 2-3 months will be doing its inaugural train from Nairobi all the way to the lake city of Kisumu. Now, what does that mean? It means that all of these trains are meeting up at the SGR and will be able to distribute our goods better and faster. Now, what does this mean? If you're a business person, you've got a sack of potatoes to send to Nairobi, and you're all the way somewhere in Nanyuki, and you need your goods to arrive safely and cheaply, underscore cheaply, then you've got a train to transport your goods. Now, what does this mean? It means that the business person has options as to what to use, what is faster, what is cheaper. And that's really the trade-off that we need to have. Now, the MGR and the railway system allows me to segue into a key conversation. That conversation is this. But number one, a lot of the time, infrastructure in many countries does not make a profit. In fact, the transport sector in Kenya, the matatu industry in Kenya, is an anomaly. It is an anomaly. Why? Because of its profiteering nature. It is more concerned with filling the matatu than it is concerned at arriving at a destination in time. This country needs to make a decision. Should we continue the matatu-like businesses we do with infrastructure, or should we take the ultimate sacrifice and say, for the sake of the common good, let us return to infrastructure for all people in an affordable and decent manner. That we need to transport ourselves in comfort, in safety, in a clean environment, and affordably. This is the question that we need to ask. To do so as a country, we must be able to ask ourselves the most simple question, and I'll leave you with this question. Is infrastructure meant for profit, or is it meant to make life easy for all? On that question, we'll see you next time.